are you?
Good. So, Hillary, it's not often I get to interview the spouse of a candidate. This is the first time, but since you're in the room, I'm going to take the opportunity. You have been on this journey with Paul for now 18 years, if my math is right.
Yep.
What has that meant to you?
I think that I've never known Paul as anything but a Delta Sig. So I think that from the very first time that we ever spoke was after the first installation he did. And so that was all he talked about. And I was like, all right, well, this is interesting. We'll see where this goes. And so I think that like to see how he's grown as a Delta Sig and just a human in general has been truly amazing. And I think that this journey is part of our journey. And so I don't have an exact answer, I guess, except that his Delta Sig journey has become my Delta Sig journey.
Well, speaking of that, our journey, how has Paul specifically made you and the kids a part of that experience?
So this is a little easier for me to answer in terms of myself than the kids because his first grand chapter was my first grand chapter, and
That was
he was like,
Palm Springs, right?
it was,
That was
we had
fun.
it was fun.
That was a great one.
We had been dating a few months, and he was like, hey, I'm going to California this summer for Delta Sigma Pi, and it's a big party and conference, and do you want to come? And I was like, I don't know anybody but you and like a few people that I've met just from hanging out together, but sure, I'll go. What do I have to lose, And to see that brotherhood up till that point, it had been really more abstract to me. And so to see that was like, wow. And to see how everybody was so inclusive of what I considered myself as an outsider at that point was just amazing. Nobody even questioned that why people were there who weren't Delta Sigs. And it was just so, I don't know, amazing. And now the kids, like our oldest son's godparents are the Chicheris, and we are their oldest daughter's godparents. And so it's part of our family. It really is. And so the twins' first Congress was last August in Atlanta, because prior to that, we were like, Congress, we took Isaac to the very first one when he was a baby. And after that, we said, no, Congress is sacred. We're not bringing the kids to that anymore. And then Atlanta came along and everyone was talking about bringing their kids. So we were like, all right, let's dive in. We're going to try it. We're going to try it with the 3 kids. So that was the twins' first Congress. We brought my mom as a babysitter, and she kind of became the grandma of all of the next generation. And just, they made their own friends. They still talk to kids that they haven't seen since August of 2019 on Messenger Kids and all, oh, I got to talk to Tyler, or I got to go, oh, today's Nolan's birthday. And I'm like, you haven't seen Nolan in a year and a half. How do you, it's his birthday, Mom. I'm like, okay. So I think that just bringing them in with the other kids and bringing, just involving them has been so great. And they've made friendships that I hope will last as long as the friendships we've made.
Was elected, that makes you first lady of Delta Sigma Pi?
Yep.
Would you have any personal plans or to contribute?
I think just more kind of nothing concrete yet. This is still a long way away in my mind, even though it's not really. But I think just getting spouses involved is important so that they can see and understand how much this means, one, to their spouse, but also how much it can mean to them and how much, we can also make a difference. It's not just the brothers, or the collegially initiated brothers that make the difference. We can all make a difference, and we all have something that we can contribute.
And if Paul is elected, it's probably, as he says, 9-10 year plus commitment. I know you've been doing this for a while, but being a GP is a little different than being a PVP, because you have a whole lot more territory to cover, and it's certainly a lot more travel once we get back to the new normal. Are you ready to put up with that?
I think so. I mean, we've been talking about Paul running for GP since he became an RVP in 2003. So this was never really a question of if in my mind, it was a question of when, and what our life would look like at any given point when that were to possibly happen. And so, I think Paul has really done a great job of balancing everything, his professional life, his fraternal life, his family life. I mean, truly, I tell people all the time, he is a way better dad than I am a mom. And I mean, he gets on the floor and he plays with the kids. And when he's playing with them, he's not doing anything else. When I'm playing with them, I'm like, oh, I have to do this and that and this and that and this and that. And yeah, let's play go fish. But wait, I need to do this. And he just literally sits down and plays the game. And it's just so amazing. And so he's really good at focusing on what he's doing at any given time. And I think that is going to be really helpful.
Well, both of you for your time today. I'm going to ask you one more trick question,
Uh-oh.
Hillary, if you'll put up with us. But these are the fun ones. And I asked Paul this question too. Tell us something that not too many people know about Paul. Tell us a fact or a fun tidbit.
I learned this about Paul really early on in our relationship. We met right after college. And so I didn't know a lot about his childhood right away. It wasn't like we knew each other as kids or anything like that. And his dream as a kid was to be general manager for the Boston Red Sox. And so, I mean, I learned that pretty quickly, big Red Sox fan. And so one time I was at his apartment, or he was in the kitchen or something, and I look over and he's like going like that. And I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, practicing my pitching. I'm like, you don't have a ball? I don't. And to this day, sometimes I'll just walk by and he'll just be practicing his pitching. So he's really a little sad that the boys haven't taken to baseball, but
kids have a habit of not doing what their parents like. That's the biggest thing I learned as a parent. Well, Paul and Hillary, thank you so much for your time today and your willingness to discuss some of these issues, and some of them are difficult questions. And I just want to wish you the best of luck on this campaign.
Great. Thanks so much.